Well, that's fucking great. Season's fucking over now. Where do I even fucking begin? I know where I'm going to begin. I'm going to begin at Gary fucking Kubiak. And I'm going against everything I believe in as a sports fan. Gary Kubiak should be fucking fired today. What the fuck was he doing in that second half? And what the fuck was that last drive? They're going after Kirk. They're getting pressure with like 3-4 guys, and he's just having him drop straight back just to get fucking killed. Every play. Did he even get a fucking pass off? He got like the very last pass off that was almost caught by Thielen. He almost got that off. Everything else was just a fucking joke. He apparently hates Kirk Cousins because he's leaving him back there to fucking be killed. That's all I can think right now. I'm utterly speechless after seeing that. What is he doing? This was almost a redemption game for the guy. I mean, I'm utterly I'm utterly without words. I hate Gary Kubiak more than I can possibly hate someone else who isn't named Donald Trump. I don't know. Viking season is over. They're 1-3. Best case scenario, maybe you can win at Houston, but you're not winning in Seattle. So you're at best 1-4, and then you're fucked. So I mean, he won't change the way he calls plays with Kirk, except for maybe a play here or there. And guess what? When they do those plays, Kirk looks great. The offense is looking great, and then he goes immediately back to just this bullshit. I can't even recap the game right now. I'm so fucking pissed off. Gary Kubiak, he better get some fucking blame for this shit. Because this is bullshit how he just keeps calling these plays for Kirk to just be killed. When it's proven over and over and over, and even a couple times today, that when you move Kirk out of the pocket, you move him around, or you have him do quick passes, it's much better. And he's a very good quarterback when you do that. And he refuses to do that. And he refuses to do it with the game on the line. It's like, okay, your game and basically your season is on the line, but hey, let's not alter anything. Let's just do the same shit. Let's just have Kirk take a deep drop and maybe survey the field as the offensive line is getting fucking pummeled. And the offensive line was bad the whole game, but I mean, what was that? I mean, the season's fucking over now. This should have been a win. They were in position to win multiple times. And yeah, I'm not even in the right headspace right now to do like a full game recap. I might do one later. The defense fucking just melted down in the second half. I mean, it was over. I mean, they made a couple stops. They at least forced him into a long field goal at the end there, but they gave up 2 touchdowns in like 2 minutes. It was, Jefferson gets that long touchdown. I'm like, oh my god, this what a game. And that was like 24-12, and from there on, it was just awful. But season's fucking over now. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, you're not gonna pull out of an 0-3 hole. There's only a couple teams in the history of the NFL that have pulled out of an 0-3 hole to make the playoffs. And they didn't have, a couple of the best quarterbacks in the NFL coming up in the next couple weeks. I don't get it. I don't get why. I mean, this season. This should have been a fucking feel-good day. And it was almost a feel-good day. And maybe it still could have been a feel-good day if, with the game on the line and the season on the line, we don't call passes that seem to be designed just to get Kirk Cousins murdered. I don't know. Are they trying to get him hurt so that they can put in Sean Mannion or something? I don't get it. Like, why is our offensive coordinator, who should know better, doing this shit? I mean, I mean, it's hopeless now. There's no Viking season. It's over. They're 0-3. They're not going to pull out of. They're not going to pull out of this and make the playoffs. You know. And even today, with the problems, the offense was good, but and very productive. I mean, 30 points. They've scored in the 30s twice, and I know you would say, "Oh, it was just garbage time against Green Bay." Well, fuck off. They scored 30 points twice. But when the drives really, really mattered, we got nothing. We got nothing from the offense, and we got nothing from the offense because Gary Kubiak is a piece of shit. He's just a piece of shit offensive coordinator. I know he's been an offensive coordinator in the past and been successful, but I don't know. He's just cashing a paycheck at this point. Because game on the line, you can't run plays like that. You can't do it. Like our offensive line sucks. Okay, we know that. Call something to minimize that problem. You did it a little more today, I guess, but then with the game on the line, and when you're trying to, get a couple drives there at the end to get points or win the game, because I knew second to last drive, if they gave the ball back without scoring, that they were going to lose, and defense at least held them to a long field goal, but that was the game. Those last two drives, pretty much the same thing happened, I think, against. It was Kansas City last year where they had a similar opportunity. But I'm so fucking pissed. This is my second try at the video. First try at the video was just me cursing out Gary Kubiak and saying things I probably shouldn't say, but I don't trust the guy, and I'm not gonna trust the guy. After this shit today, I'll never trust the guy as the coordinator, as offensive coordinator of this team, because he lost in the game at the end. You do something on either of those two drives, you get points on either of those two drives, and they're 1-2 now instead of 0-3. But he'd rather just keep calling go back to these same fucking straight drop back passes. So behind a terrible offensive line, so against a really good pass rush too, like Clowney and some of these guys. So Kirk can be killed. I don't get it. Why are you doing it? What's the point? Season's over now because you're a piece of shit offensive coordinator who won't change it up. Like defensive struggles. I mean, all things considered, the defense did a decent job today because they were able to, they didn't get completely run over by Derrick Henry. They held Titans to field goals multiple times. I mean, what did Gostkowski end up with? Like 6, I think. And a couple of them were long. This fucking sucks, man. They should have won today. This should have been, I don't know if it's a season saver because they still have to, go on from here, but now it's, what is it, September 27th, I think, and the season's over. They're 0-3. And they'll win some games, but I mean, and obviously Justin Jefferson was a huge bright spot today. I wish I had been making this video singing the praises of Justin Jefferson, or singing the praises of Dalvin Cook, or singing the praises of Kirk Cousins, or even singing the praises of like Yannick Ngakoue, or some other guys who had big games. They had some big plays on defense today. Instead, sitting here absolutely fucking miserable because my football team is 0-3, and because my offensive coordinator for my football team basically just pissed down his leg at the end of the game. I'll be curious to see what the media and fan spin will be on this one, because it's gonna be interesting to watch them blame it all on Cousins or something again. It wasn't like top flight Cousins, but it was good Cousins. They let one get away. This is the problem. When you do lose these close games, I mean, that's a big fucking swing. 0-3 to 1-2. 1-2, you still got a shot. 0-3, I mean, they got the extra playoff spot this year, but statistically speaking, you don't really have a shot. And I mean, if I just look at like every team in the NFC West is good, so they're probably all going to win at least 8, maybe 9 games over there. So they might take up all the freaking wild card spots. So you got to keep pace, and they didn't keep pace. This was such a winnable game. I mean, fuck. How many times is a Mike Zimmer team? And I know this isn't the Zimmer defense of old. This is a very different world we're living in with the Zimmer defense. Even if they have improved, I mean, they're not a good defense right now. I'm not going to make the argument that they're a good defense, but they've shown some improvement. But I mean, when was the last time a Zimmer defense blew a double-digit lead in a home game in the second half? I mean, obviously the miracle game they did, but then they won. But I mean, that doesn't happen. It happened today. It happened in a blink too when they gave up the 2 touchdowns abruptly fast. That was another drive that, in between the Vikings and offense drive, that just did nothing. Just fucking sucks, man. I think I've passed the anger portion of the stages of grief. I'm not sure what the order is, but now I think I'm into the depression period. But fucking sucks, man. They should have won today. They did a lot of good things today to win the game against a pretty good team. I still don't think Tennessee is like an amazing team. I think they're a solid team, but boy, you had to win this. Really had to win this, because now you got Houston on the road and Seattle on the road, and you're not beating Seattle. And even if you beat Houston, you're 1-4. I mean, in a conference that's going to have some very good teams vying for wild card spots. I mean, you got it right off the division at this point. I don't know how you even get one of those wild cards when you got the NFC West over there, and 49ers won again today, I think, and Seattle's maybe the best team in the NFC, and Arizona's really good, and the Rams came back. I think, I don't know, they were down big to Buffalo and they came back. I don't know if they actually won or not. I wasn't in the mood to even check other scores. This fucking sucks. All I can say, it sucks. They did so many things that should have been the focus. So many good things that should have been the focus of a post-game video. Cousins making big plays, Jefferson having one of the great break. I mean, that was like a breakout game, almost like on par with like Moss when he debuted. Big game from Cook. Pretty good game from Thielen. Kind of a quiet game, but he was pretty good. Yeah, there's so many fucking... I mean, to be fair, it wasn't just the Kubiak stuff. There's other mistakes. I mean, fucking Holton Hill had a game-sealing interception in his hand on the final Titans drive and dropped it. Because God forbid that piece of garbage ever do anything. I don't think much of him either. He's been here long enough that he should have done something by now to actually show that he belongs. But ay. Well, on the plus side, I just checked. It's now 7-0 Cubs. So the Cubs are blowing out the White Sox. So if nothing else, the Twins are going to clinch their division today. And of course, last I saw, maybe I'll check that again. Yeah, the Lynx are getting kind of killed, so their season's gonna end today, and the Viking season ended today. So, I mean, I knew, after last week, we were definitely teetering on the edge of it being officially a rebuilding year, and now it pretty much is. I mean, there's such little chance that it's going to be any sort of a playoff season now that, I'm not going to say tank. I'm not going to do that shit. That was funny today. There was, after they got the 2 quick touchdowns the Titans did, then people are like, oh, we got a tank for a quarterback. Well, your defense just gave up the 2 quick touchdowns in a game where you, at that point, had, I think, 24 points scored. So why is the quarterback the reason for that you have to tank? Not happy. I like to do a happy post game video. But even now, it's like they will win some games. This is not going to be like a 2-14 team. I mean, they showed today even that they got too much good on the team to spiral down like that. But so much of it is coaching, man. You got one side of the ball, like Zimmer's coaching them up, and like they struggled. They had their mishaps today, but they also had some highlights, and some of the young guys came on, here and there. I mean, you're not gonna be like a great unit, but he's coaching them up, and I thought for at least a half that Kubiak had figured some shit out too, but that, I mean, really the only thing they did in the whole second half was the bomb to Jefferson. That was really their only play in the second half. It was, I'd be interested to see what the total yardage was in the second half. If you took that play out, I bet they didn't even gain 50 yards in the second half. Bailey missed a kick, but I mean that was still early enough in the game that I'm not gonna be like, oh, they lost the game because of a missed kick either. It's like, of course, thanks a lot for the fucking announcer jinx. Yeah, thanks for telling us that he's got the longest streak in the league of successful field goal tries. Like we need to hear that shit. Yeah, we don't have enough problems in this town with kickers on streaks. But that wasn't. I'm not putting anything on Bailey. I mean, fuck. He's been a good kicker, and that was pretty early in the game. Still, that was that like early third quarter. God damn it. That sucks, man. This sucks. This really should not. This should not have been the way. I mean, sometimes you lose the close games, sometimes you win them, but it's different when you have a double-digit lead, and then you have the ball, both with an opportunity late to seal the win, and then also with an opportunity to go back and score and win. And you fail on all those accounts. And you fail because of the same fucking problems that have plagued this offense for the first 2 games, and I guess the whole second half today. So, hey, Gary Kubiak, you've had one good half. Maybe we'll give you the second half of the Green Bay game too, because they at least were scoring at a quick pace. But so you've had like 2 good halves in 3 games with a team that has a lot of offensive talent and a good quarterback, and I'm sure the Cousins haters are just beside themselves with joy. But, this was Kirk's best game of the 3. I'm not going to put him up. His one mistake, the pick didn't even lead to points, so, I mean, you get that kind of game. They got that, like, they had a 150-yard rusher and a 150-yard receiver and lost. I bet that hasn't happened very often. Sucks, man. Just gonna stare off pensively into the darkness. But I mean, fuck, man. They had that game. They should have had that game in so many different ways. And, I started this video pissed off, but I'm standing by it. Kubiak should be fired. I'm just done. What are you doing? Like, he's not like, it's not like he's gonna be with the team for a long, long time. Like, if this is what you're gonna do with the game on the line, basically call plays to get your quarterback killed, then just fucking retire. It's not worth wasting all our time. Well, I guess I'll emotionally recover here. Maybe go watch the Twins clinch a division and drown my sorrows. I do this shit sober, by the way. I do this shit sober. I'm a Vikings fan sober. I don't drink. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if I did? Be in the drunk tank right now for sure.